Hello, I'm Rick Barclay with Piano Clubhouse, and today we're going to learn a song called Chariots of Fire. It's from the motion picture Chariots of Fire. It was composed by Vangelis, and it was in the early 80s that this film came out, 1981, and this was a very popular piece to be played on piano and also the other instrumentation back during the day. So let's just get started and describe how some of these things are going to be implemented on the piano. Because a lot of it was synthesizer based. Vangelis, this was kind of during the time when a lot of the 80s synth material was really coming out. The instruments were new and fresh, and so they're really being utilized in the sound department on the recording. So we're going to condense things and to make it into a piano piece, if you will. So this one is actually in a kind of a fun key, if you will. It's in the key of D flat major. So it's a lot of black notes. D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D. And then you walk it back down. So a lot of black notes you're going to be playing in this piece. So we're going to be riding up kind of close into the keys and not so far back, if you will. So that's kind of a common practice, is that whenever you are playing on the black keys, that you want to be playing in the middle location most of the time. And now not necessarily all the time, because sometimes, as you can see, if I'm doing this D flat triad, depending on where I have to go and so on and so forth, I may be riding here close to the edge on this one, whereas my playing the white note up close, and then now I have the black note up close. So it just really depends upon which fingers you're using and how you implement them. But usually you don't want to necessarily always play, on the tips or edges. And you're also going to be noticing that you'll be playing white notes more into the central location in between the black notes. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing that starts off, it's a pulsating 16th synth sound that starts the whole thing off. And it's being accented like on counts 2 and counts 4. This is in 4/4 time signature. So what happens is that if you have both the D flats here in octaves, what I'm doing is I'm hitting both on the downbeat, and then the 16th notes are being a dynamic level of kind of rising up and down with accent on count 2 and count 4, created that the synth sound that was being produced electronically. So we're trying to have to do something that was electronic in human-wise. So that's how you can achieve that. Now, again, it was a synth that, lots of different synth sounds that kind of did this opening here. So it's somewhat of a long opening compared to the way we have introductions these days. It's very long. So it was D flat, A flat, and it was another synth that played that part. So it may seem kind of boring and repetitious here at the front, but that's, again, what the piece was outlined as it first started. Alright, so I'll play that for you. 2, 3, 4. What you're going to notice is I'm going to keep this pulsating 16th note going throughout most of the piece. It's not until we get to the bridge that I quit doing the pulsating 16th notes. But at this point we finally play a chord. There's another synth that plays a chord, so it's an A flat, D flat, F, and again 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now on count 3 you're going to play this G flat over D flat is what we call it chord-wise. So it's D flat still in the bass. We're going to play, most of the time we're going to be writing down here, so we're going to leave it for quite some time. B flat, D flat, G flat. Those are the notes that we're playing, and that's on count 3. So 3E and 4E. So that's 4E. On the E of the 4E and you're going to hit the D flat again. And then we go back to the D flat triad, except this time it's in root position. D flat, F, A flat. When we did play it here, and then we're walking up. Okay? All along while you're doing this pulsating thing. And then it's going to get into this pickup going into the main theme, main melody. So let me play the chord section right here one more time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now here's the melody. I'm going to stop with the left hand for a second, and then I'll come back and show you how we put those together. But the melody now is D flat, G flat, A flat, B flat, A flat, F. But when I get to the G flat, I'm going to add some of this tone right here to help kind of beef it up, if you will, which is the D flat. See, I'm still playing that D flat as I walk the melody up. It helps give some more chord tone to it. Okay, now I added D flat, F, A flat, because my melody is going to be A flat, F. So you strike that chord. Now the melody again, D flat, and then you can hit that D flat along with the G flat, A flat, B flat, and then it just stays right up there, D flat, F, A flat. Does it again, D flat, G flat, A flat, B flat, while you're doing the D flat, the D flat triad, D flat, F, A flat, back to the F. Now here's where it really finally changes information. F, G flat on the top, D flat, B flat, F, D flat, and then you got to move to do a D flat and another inversion, F, A flat, D flat. Okay, so let me play all that again, pickups into it. 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, those are triplets, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the tricky part is while all that is going on, we're going to keep playing this pulsating synth. Now originally the piano part wasn't doing that, but again we're going to try to emulate as much of the recording as we can so that whenever you do play it, it sounds like recognizable as the song, as all these parts. So you're going to do some basically crossing what we call polyrhythms. So the right hand is going to do 16th notes, or excuse me, left hand 16th notes, right hand is going to have a triplet in there. So they kind of don't mesh there at some juncture. Weren't lining up together. They basically are offsetting one another. 2, 3. Now does it again. Basically this is AA format. Same information as we've already been doing. We finally change our bass note to an A flat because it's given us a sense of a cadence of that we're ending this section. So A flat in the bass, B flat, D flat, G flat, F, D flat, and then D flat, and I can add my A flat in this. So D flat, A flat, D flat, F, A flat, D flat. Okay, nice thick, nice full chord. Okay, so that was basically A, and now we're ready for the bridge, the B section. Now the pickups into that are D flat, C, B flat, A.